Hey everyone, welcome back. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to build a simple sort of carousel in CSS with Tailwind, which is not exactly a carousel because it will lack controls and stuff because we need JS for that, but mostly a nice widget which will snap itself in place just like this particular widget does when I release the scroll, right? And this is because of the new addition of scroll snapping feature in Tailwind. Not in CSS, it has been available for CSS for a while. But this scroll snap align, which is possible now inside of Tailwind, is available in version 3. Let's take a look at how we can build this particular app right here. You can see when I leave my mouse, it snaps itself to the center. Not exactly center, to the start, because that's what the snap says. But let's see how we can build it with a couple of divs over here. So I'm going to get rid of this code right here. We're going to start a little bit fresh. I'm going to start off with something like, for example, let's build up a few divs. So I'm going to say something like width of 100. Hopefully that is available. Height of, let's say 48. Then a BG gray 800, something like that. Right, and it looks like it's just way too big, so probably something like, or maybe it's not available. That's a more plausible explanation. Yep. All right, so we have the first div. We're gonna do a bunch of divs with different colors: green, red, blue, yellow. Right, and I'm gonna give this upper div a class of flex. So what this means is that this is now a flexbox, and you can see that obviously it does not follow our widths set in flexbox, right? So what I can say is something like overflow x auto, which just means that, hey, you're allowed to scroll out of the original width of your container. And finally, to allow this element to actually use its own width instead of just shrinking to fit, what I can say is flex shrink 0, right? So the moment I say that, you can see now this area is scrollable instead of just getting shrink down to the individual widths. Awesome. So now right now you can see in terms of scrollable, this does not does much except for scrolling. So in order to add those snap possibilities, what we can do is give it a direction first of all. So I'm going to snap this into X direction by saying that, right? So this sets certain properties which are required for enabling the scroll snap in CSS. But you're going to see that it still does not work because you have to give where that particular element should snap on an individual level. So in this case, let's say if I give it a snap of center, you can see now if I go ahead and try to scroll, this green over here snaps at center, right? When I scroll and I leave my mouse. Similarly, this red over here snaps at center as well. Similarly for blue and similarly for the last one, yellow. If I change the direction from snap center to snap start, you're going to see it starts to snap at the start. Similarly for green, you can see it snaps at start and so on. So if you give it something like space x of 4, for example, you can see now it is like much nicer in terms of visibility. And even if you give it a nice scroll thing, you're going to see it always lands in the starting part of the particular div, right? So that's awesome. You can also add a margin, a scroll margin to it. So you can see the scroll ML6 creates a left margin of 6 units. So if I go ahead and give this to all of the divs over here, you're going to see that now they pretty much have a 6 units of snap margin to themselves. And if I match this with the SpaceX, that is the padding, this would pretty much mean that, it'll just keep that area to itself and it'll snap to the white area instead of the actual boundary of the element. So yep, that's pretty much it for scrolling in CSS with Tailwind, scrolling and snapping the scroll. So pretty exciting, pretty neat feature of Tailwind version 3. So yep, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm gonna see you in the next one really soon.